Welcome to the OTC podcast, a show where I bring a guest to the outdoors and we bring the outdoors to you. I'm your host, Nico Prada, and today my guest is my arch nemesis. Actually, I had actually brought him out here to do something like that, but turned out to be a pretty public area with a lot of elderly people, and he's actually kind of growing on me, so please give it up for your next meeting. Come on the stage, Mr. Nico fucking Bolling.
How's it going? What's up?
What's up, dude? So I didn't really explain to you the format of the show, but this is it. We're rolling. We do this for 30 minutes.
Cool, cool.
So yeah, if you got to poop, do it now.
Yeah, we're good.
Well, yeah, we already learned that part. That part was scripted right there, because I really. Let's just tell the story.
Yeah. Okay. So I had a couple of McChickens for dinner last night, and nothing but cigarettes and a Mountain Dew for breakfast. So I've been having a little bit of digestive issues. I got most of it out, but just
classic
to be safe,
Saturday morning for you.
I just wanted to get the rest of it, but then we walked into the public restroom over here, and let's just say there was a little unholy presence. Someone was having a far worse day than me. So
yeah,
I think I'll be good with a little bit of old-fashioned resilience.
I asked Nico what was wrong, and he goes, "Just take a look," and I did. And basically, hang on, let's wait for these people to pass before we bless them with this waterfall of diarrhea. It looked like, hello. It looked like somebody was didn't want to sit on the seat all the way down.
But it worked out horribly
and
for them.
Sort of gargoyled it and aimed their hole in the complete, just the wall. Basically coated the wall and the handle where he flushed, so he couldn't flush.
The PSI alone behind that movement must have been insane. You could have pressure washed a deck.
Yeah. Wow.
Uh-huh.
This
is why I love coming here, because there's a type of birds here that, like, you know.
These are storks.
I'm not sure if they're storks, but there's things all around that explain what you're seeing.
Okay. Yeah, this is a cool little spot.
I told you, if we're really lucky, they got a 14-foot alligator here.
That's awesome.
You might be able to see them.
I'm pretty sure these are storks, which makes sense because you're a pretty pro-life guy. So I think that's why you brought us over here.
Hey, man, I'm about to move to New York. You keep that private.
Oh man, if you think I won't cock block you from the other side of the country, you are so wrong.
I know you will.
You are so wrong.
I hope these guys are seeing this in the background. You see the size of these birds?
Don't worry, I'm gonna get some beer. Which, by the way, speaking of,
yeah,
this is kind of
seems to be a recurring theme around here.
Kind of what the bathroom looked like in there. Oh God, so Bolling, we share a lot of things, as you can tell. His name is also Nico. But I feel like you're kind of like a past version of me, but just turned up to 11.
I can see that.
Like, you smoke in the house.
I don't do that anymore.
Oh, congrats, that's great. But still pretty up there. I think you drink so much your toes shake, or at least you used to.
Hey, I spent the last 2 days sober before.
Look at you, good for you.
But
then on top of that,
to clean it up in general. But yeah, I still be on some ratchet shit.
There you go, yeah.
And then you can take the boy out of Florida. You can never take the Florida out of the boy.
Don't blame the state. You do those things. But then to really like one up me, you went and got yourself a fucking 9-inch dong, huh? You overachiever. You realize you could have done that with a 3.5er. That would have been enough to top me, right?
You know, I didn't went and get that, buddy. I grew it myself.
Oh, you grew it yourself, right? You watered it and tended to it.
I read somewhere that the size of a man's dong is directly correlated to the amount of testosterone in his mother's system while she's gestating. And that makes sense because my mom, love her to death, but she can be kind of an ornery bitch. She's definitely got some test in her.
That's great. Wonderful. So, Nico, you did your homework, right?
Yes, I did.
All right, if anyone's paying attention, if I have any fans at this point besides just my mom, hi mom, I love you.
Hi Nico's mom. Let's head this way.
Oh, look at that. I think that's a blue heron with a fucking fish in its mouth.
Oh yeah, it is.
These cameras don't have zoom. I wish they did. That's fucking amazing.
See, I love this place. I found out about it because my dad's girlfriend is a painter and she comes here to get pictures of birds to paint. It's like the best way I can describe this, it's a zoo of native fauna. So you're not going to come here and see like elephants and tigers and stuff, but you're going to see it You're gonna see Florida the way that like Ponce de Leon saw it when he came here.
With the purpose of people?
Oh, well.
I forgot to cancel. I just want to get some B-roll, but anyway.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, exactly. I suck at post, but we'll see. Anyway, I like to start off some of these hikes by asking my guest, because I've never hiked with you before. I don't know how outdoorsy you are. So on the Disney Princess scale, from Sleeping Beauty to Pocahontas, how outdoorsy are you?
Now you see, we were talking about this earlier, and I told you I'm not up on my Disney lore.
Neither am I, and I'm the one who came up with it, so don't worry.
It's a good scale, though, I'll tell you. It's a solid scale,
Yeah.
but, you know, so I don't think I really align with any princesses.
That's fine.
But I'd say the best way I could describe myself is Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, because I'd be outside causing mischief. It's just rarely in nature. I'm always downtown fucking it up and stuff like that.
There you go.
So I'm not indoorsy, but I'm not outdoorsy either. I'm downtowny.
You're downtowny. There, see, that's fucking perfect, man. That's fucking perfect. I'll put a tiara on that and call it a princess.
Let's go.
Nothing wrong with that, yeah.
I have one in my closet that I bought for weird sex purposes, but I haven't found anyone to wear it yet.
Do you have anything in your closet that's not for weird sex purposes?
I got a GameCube.
I don't believe that for 1 second. Not that you have a GameCube, but that you use it for normal things. No, man, you're hardcore. I know your anal beads are square.
Oh, that made my hole hurt just thinking about it. There's a lot of hole damage on today's episode.
Yeah, I know. I was literally gonna, like, not to just always come back to a poop joke, but like that bathroom, man. It's gonna. This is gonna. That's gonna stay in the mind for.
Imagine fucking Brooklyn subway station bathroom. That's what's going on in there right now.
Hey, maybe somebody was here. Like, you have like a little guardian angel prepping you for New York. Who just came here and dropped.
Oh, I've been prepped. I have been prepped.
Came here and dropped the deuce on the handle of the to make sure nobody can flush it.
It was up the wall.
It really was. It really was up the wall. I realize that expression is usually exaggerated, but no.
It's quite literally.
Yeah.
There was a vertical spread.
So, to at least attempt to stay on topic with the show, did you grow up doing anything kind of outdoorsy or not really?
I mean, I was always like the same way. It's like, you know, I was outside, but I was in the neighborhood. I was always sort of a rascally kid, and I had a whole gaggle of other rascally kids. So I was never a scout. We were never going camping or anything like that. But, you know, we would just be rolling around, walking on bikes and stuff, just, you know, writing on walls, smoking cigarettes, being bad kids and stuff.
No, I was asking you about
succeeding.
I was asking you about your childhood, not what you did yesterday.
Well, old habits die hard.
There you go, dude. This place straight up feels like a zoo. It's so
fantastic.
I'm gonna. It's so freaking like this feels like a segment that was built just for these storks, and I'm pretty sure if I get it wrong, somebody correct me, but I'm pretty sure they are. And then they have this area over here. This is freaking amazing, man.
I think around, so of course they move around, but last time I was here, it was around this, maybe not this island. I think there's another one around here. I'm telling you, 14-foot gator.
Oh, I believe that. I believe that.
Must weigh as much as 2 gorillas.
How many gorillas would take to beat up one alligator?
Oh, 2 Corollas.
2 Corollas. I think you said 2 gorillas.
So that's easally 5 gorillas.
5 gorillas for one alligator. I hate the 100 persons versus one gorilla.
My whole question was that, like, regardless of your opinion, is why are we trying to slime a gorilla?
I don't get it. That's why I said that. That's why I said, I made a little Facebook post. I said, Harambe is disappointed as fuck in all of you guys, man.
Like, those are peaceful creatures. Now, I'll fuck up with a chimp with a bad attitude, but leave the gorillas alone.
Yeah.
It's like slapping an orangutan. You go straight to hell for that.
I know. He'll send you there. He'll be the one to send you, and you'll deserve it. Yeah. So, have you ever gone camping?
Well, so I actually, it's funny, you know how sometimes, you know how I tell you my memory isn't great even when I'm sober?
Yeah.
I just remembered I went to camp in Inverness for 4 years when I was a teenager. But yeah, so even then, yeah, we were out in Inverness, no AC, shit like that.
That's cool.
Again, just bad kids in the woods being bad kids.
Where is that? And tell me what it's like.
It was, it was Our Lady of Good Counsel Camp, but we just called it GCC. It was run by the diocese. And it's fun. It was like church camp, but the only thing real churchy about it is we had a little service a little 15-minute service every day. And then on Sundays, obviously, we had mass. But then we would just play sports, screw around, same shit, try and finger girls and stuff like that. But yeah, so we were mostly in cabins, but we would camp out in places like we had a dry lake bed there.
Okay, that's
stuff
cool.
Like, so we'd be out in tents and shit. And God, I got heat rash so bad there so many times.
Yeah, that wasn't really your jam then, huh?
Well, I mean, it toughened me up.
There you go. Yeah, I do think I'm not a huge fan of the whole toughen up, you're a man, but like I do think it's cool that when you go outdoors and spend time in nature, it kind of forces you to learn certain things, and you do come out a little stronger, a little better on the other side.
Well, it's like, I'm not saying toughen up like it's like, oh, like you're so soft.
No, I don't think you did. But
I just think it's good for every person in the development to be exposed. And it was co-ed too. It's not like I was out there with a bunch of dudes trying to out.
You gotta make sure you say it's no homo. You know? This wasn't one of those suspicious Catholic places.
No, it wasn't anti-conversion therapy or whatever. But,
anti-conversion.
Just in the woods with a couple of dudes. Nothing funny going on here.
I think anti-conversion therapy is just called life or humanism.
Far out, but no, I just think a little Lord of the Flies situation for a little bit going on is good for every developing child. Just, you know, just left in the woods to your own devices, and the adults, quote unquote, are like 19, so they don't know what the hell they're doing either. Yeah, hell, I'm 33 and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Facts. Don't put me in charge of children. You'll come out with like 3 Jason Voorhees if I'm a camp counselor. Oh no. Yeah, that's a bad recipe right there. You can see this is a very popular spot for photographers. Yeah, there's a ton of people here. I'm seeing a lot of really big lenses. It's really, I took the turnpike over here and I thought we were gonna have to go more west to get something, so. It's crazy how central this thing is. Because you know, in our area of Florida, Palm Beach County, or at least right now we're in Palm Beach County. I think you're down in Broward, right? Yeah. But so it's normally that, like, if you want to go see the wilderness and stuff, you got to go pretty far out west of the Everglades. Yeah, exactly. We're right off of Jog Road in Delray right now. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm pretty far out west, like literally where Alligator Alley begins, and like that's as far as you have to go to see shit like this. Like, this is unbelievable. It's beautiful. It is freaking a little bit of sulfur in the air. Yeah. Good for your loins. Good for your loins. In what sense? Yeah, that's just an expression. See, I don't know what to believe with you, because you know. So if you would at least like take on and off your tinfoil hat to talk, I would know which times you're being serious and which times. Well, not that you're not serious about your theories. I didn't mean to insult you. I'm sorry. I appreciate you. But I guess the good for your loins is just an expression, huh? No, good for your. I was implying that it's good for your virility. But I didn't want to say that when we were walking by those 2 toddlers. I appreciate that, because even though it goes against my own moral compass, it also. Oh wait, let's be quiet a little bit. It looks like everybody's taking a picture of a bird, so let me get a shot. Let's see what they're looking at. Maybe it's the gator. It's a hawk. Oh hell yeah! I'll try to get it with my phone, because it actually has zoom. Can you hold this again? Because I can't. I've never let anybody hold the camera before. I hate you. Get a load of the great artist at work. It's pretty. I don't see him. Where's he at? You see, go up this tree to the left. Oh, dude. Whoa, badass. I don't know if that's a hawk or a falcon. I'm still terrible with birds. And we all paid admission to the show. No, that bird's not a narc. Let's go, lady. Suzanne? I don't know if I've met. Oh, my dad's girlfriend. Oh, gotcha. That's cool. Dude, this place, I know I've said it like 4 times already, but it's freaking blowing me away. It's like the best kept secret in Delray, and the best part, fucking free. I know. That was crazy too. I got no problem paying a couple bucks to get into a park, you know, especially with the amount of defunding that's happened. And but well, this is I think this is all privately funded. I actually think it's the Jewish American Society that funds this place. Amazing. Amazing. That's it? You're not gonna go off on some rabbit hole? No. I'm kidding. We're here. You're like, what is the usual expression is what, like the walls have ears now? It's like the trees are listening. Oh my God, was that hawk real? Or was it a government? Was it a government agent? That's funny. I do think it's really funny. So Nico actually chose this spot, and normally I don't say the names because we try to gatekeep a little bit in nature, not because we're cooler than other people, but there are. You don't want people fucking it up. Yeah, exactly. It's really unfortunate that people like
even in very, very remote areas, you still go out and see like a couple beer bottles, and it's like, who the fuck carried a case of beer out here? At least like if you found little shooters on the floor, it'd still be fucked up, but it would at least make sense. And you go, who the hell carried like a fucking Miller Lite? What bros came all the way out here? But I don't know, maybe they were already drunk when it happened.
It could have been, yeah, probably an alcohol-fueled adventure that didn't start.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. That's what I'm
the
saying.
Drinking didn't start on the trail. That was 8 hours in.
Exactly. They just woke up and did some funky shit, and next thing you know, people think there's a swamp ape. No, I'm kidding. I know that's insulting. That's insulting to a lot of people in Florida.
I didn't mean to. The skunk ape likes to crush Coors Light, dude. That'd be kind of sick. Now I gotta go find him so I can party with him.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe you'll finally be the one to find Bigfoot or the swamp ape or whatever, because all these people are looking from the wrong foundation. They want to find him. They want to study him. You just want to get fucking hammered with him. Like maybe that was the approach needed to take all along.
9/11.
It's like, did you know you're a conspiracy theory?
Idiot.
We just walked past a sign that said, you know, the Florida tree, the sable palm. And I was telling Nico how back in the day we used to play paintball, and I was trying to hide behind one of these palms. I was sitting down, like, you know, feet pointed forward, and I'm scooching backwards to try and get the perfect shot. But as I'm scooching, my pants are falling a little bit below my bum, and it turns out I wasn't the only one who had a perfect shot, because the other guy shot me directly in my booty skin, and that sucked.
It'll happen.
Yeah. But then that prompted you to tell your story.
So, I was never a huge paintball guy, but I had some friends who were into it, and I went with them, you know, on occasion. And one year, because I was always smart enough to wear a cup, right? And one year, I was about, I think, 13, 14, not to brag, but I had outgrown my athletic support, but I still had the strap, right? The cup was useless because it was too tiny, but I had the strap. So I actually had some sheet aluminum in my dad's garage and a pair of metal shears. So I actually tooled myself a metal, like, plate armor cup that I wore out to the field. And, you know, nothing really crazy happened with it, but you know the boys were trying to, you know, aim for it. Like, you know what they say, you ring the bell, you get the prize.
When it ended up happening, did they get you?
No, it was a normal day. Nothing crazy happened, but I definitely got some laughs out of the guys at the range.
So to this day, we still don't really know if the cup works or not.
You want to test it? No, I don't have it anymore. I wish I did.
That's fine.
I could make another.
That's for another show.
I have sheet aluminum at my house right now, dude.
For some reason, I don't doubt that. Sorry, mate. No, you're good. You're good, mate. So, what I did find really appropriate is that you chose this place, and it starts with the word Waco.
I never even put that together until now.
It's because it's with a K, but it's called, I'm not going to tell you what it's called. And it's not because I forgot how to properly pronounce it and will feel like a dick. No, it's because I am too cool for you. And I'm not going to say
Waxahachie wetlands.
It is Waxahachie, yeah. Don't worry. By the time...
Or Wakotahachie, however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm not going to be that pedantic about things. I'm a pretty fucking pedantic person, but that's a little much. Man, this place is freaking gorgeous.
Isn't it?
And when you told me it was going to be wetlands, I was ready to do wet hiking. So I sprayed all my clothes with permethrin last night. I was like, I even wore long socks. I looked like a freaking dweeb.
No, you're good. Well, I don't know, when you said you were spraying your clothes, there was a part of me that wanted to be like, hey, you might be taking a little far, but then I remembered they have a bunch of signs all around here that's like, hey, you might get stung by a wasp, and you can't sue us, so maybe a little bit of spray is good.
I think permethrin keeps wasps away, too. I can't remember. I know it's basic, like, mosquito ticks type of repellent.
You ever had a tick?
Yeah, a bunch.
I had one directly on my sack.
Holy moly. Go on.
Well, I just plucked it out, but, you know.
Was it deep?
I think he must have I think it was the morning after, so he wasn't, like, burrowing for a week. But I remember I looked down.
A week? It's only 36 hours before you get Lyme disease, brother.
Well, thankfully I didn't get Lyme. No, I didn't even get tested or nothing. I was at camp in Inverness, dude.
I mean, not for nothing, but if you're leaving a Catholic camp, I feel like you should get tested more than ever. Sorry. Hello. How are you? Lovely day.
But yeah, when I first saw it, I was just like, what, do I got like a mole or something? And I saw it had legs, and I was like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah, were you able to pluck it out properly without ripping the head off?
They told you to just go slow. Yeah.
I'm sorry, who? The priest looked at it?
Yeah.
They looked
Priests
at
and nurse, the counselors, they were just like, hey, it's fine. Well, no, they didn't look at my sack. They
tell you to go slow, baby.
There was a briefing when you first got there, like, hey, if you get one, we prefer you go to the nurse, but if you're gonna do it yourself, you go real slow.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. They even sell these little, like, it's like a credit card with a slot in it that slides and like.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the one thing that I always wondered about is because he was directly in my sack. So was he getting any blood or was he just sucking nut?
Well, I think there's a couple of layers before getting to the nut, brother. I know, well, not metaphorical layers. Sometimes there's no layers to get to the nut. It just takes like a slight touch and you're there. But yeah, no, I think that would have been funny though, like the first tick to like just eat a bunch of cum. I told you, this is a very educational show where we talk about things, we talk about values and things that matter. Now, I do try to push a positive message, but I had to give a warning in my intro to the audience that like,
hey, sucking nuts a positive message.
Depends who's nuts. Oh God, where are my dreams going?
I think you're doing great, Nico.
Thank you, Nico. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah. You fucking name stealer. So, what was the craziest thing you ever did? Like something crazy outdoorsy you did in that camp, or not really much?
Me? I mean, oh God, well, one time we were camping out in the dry lake bed. It was right next, not right next to, but it was like close enough that there was like a cattle rancher out there. And dude, I tell you, when we were in the, especially when we were in the DLB, it was straight up Lord of the Flies.
The DLB, say that again?
DLB, dry lake bed.
Oh, dry lake bed, gotcha.
Yeah, it's a cool camp speak. We're at the DLB, bro.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
No gang signs, please.
No gang signs.
No, I can't have that on my educational channel about toilets and tick nuts and.
You knew something was going to happen when you asked me.
Oh, absolutely.
Or rather, I asked you. Let's clarify that.
No, that's fine.
Can I be on your podcast, Nico?
I was going to ask you anyway, but I just going to ask you further down the line. But when you told me you were moving, I decided to throw you right on. So anyway, tell me about this,
so
DLB.
All sorts of crazy stuff happened there. But the first night I was there, so there's a cattle rancher not too far, and every once in a while his cows would like wander in. And we were just fucking with them, just not like throwing or anything, but we were yelling at them. I had a leather belt.
You were yelling at the cows?
I had a leather belt and I took it off and I was like, this is made out of you. And I got a big laugh. One of the counselors, I forget his name, I think it was Tristan, but don't hold me to that. Somebody set a tree on fire.
Oh.
It was in the middle of like a big clearing. So it didn't have a chance of starting a forest fire. But yeah, he lit that shit on fire and danced around like a tribesman.
Man, you're really not kidding about those counselors not knowing what the fuck they're doing.
Oh hell no. Dude, bro, they were all a bunch of 19-year-old dope smokers, man.
That's funny, because when you tell me that they didn't know what they were doing, I'm thinking maybe like, okay, they weren't sure how to properly do CPR. They didn't really know they didn't memorize all of the leave no trace print. No, this guy set a fucking tree on fire.
Yeah.
What a disappointment, but I guess.
Hey man, it was run by the diocese, not, the Ecological Foundation. I don't even know what the organization would be called.
The Ecological Foundation. I'm sure there's something called like the Extreme Ecological Foundation, where they just persecute Catholics that burn down trees. Listen,
specifically Catholics.
I'd be lying if I said I never burned down a tree, but it was a Christmas tree in a friend's backyard, not a.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, it's funny, when I went to Patagonia, they told me about like how easy it was to burn shit down, and it's crazy because you grew up here in Florida too, or no?
Yep.
Okay.
Born and raised my whole life.
So then you know that like when you make a fire over here, there's actually a bit of a struggle, whereas in some places. Like, I've gone camping with people who are from California, and they see a spark fly out, and they have a little twitch, lose their mind, because there are places where it literally just, like, one little spark can catch half the fucking forest on fire. So that's why people are so sassy, myself included, about, like, not fucking around like that, but it already happened.
And in Florida too, it's just like, you know, because exactly like you mentioned, it's very, very wet here. So if you're going to start a forest fire, it's going to be intentional.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Once it happens, it's hard to stop it, but it can be a little bit of a struggle to start it.
It's like I've never heard about, like, you know, whenever there's a fire around here, it's arson. I've never heard of, like, you know, some dude having a whoopsie daisy because he had a couple too many beers in the woods, you know?
Yeah, no, but I still think people should try to be as careful
better
as
safe
possible.
than sorry. I'm not trying to undermine the point.
I didn't think you would. I have to hammer some kind of positive message into this, man. Wipe your butt and don't start forest fires.
And aim properly.
Aim properly.
Especially when you're at a very large wilderness preserve with only one men's toilet. Please be considerate.
You don't think you can aim with your butt, but you absolutely can. Oh my God. Well, tell you what, we've already looped this place around a couple of times. What do you say we find a nice place to sit, or I'll make you a little snacky and I'll ask you a little bit about your comedy.
Absolutely. Sounds cool? Great.
All right, thanks for joining me. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, we're good. Right here. Welcome back to On Trail with Comedians.
How's it going? Check the frame. Am I like straight up nuts to camera right now?
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
Okay. It's an artistic choice. I'm glad I wear boxers.
Should have worn briefs, son. I am your host, Nico Prada, and I'm here with my guest, Nico Bolling.
How's it going?
We just went for a little hike over in Wakadootahatchee, right? Is that
Wakadootahatchee.
Wakadootahatchee, yeah, that's what I said.
I like Wakadootahatchee.
Wakadootahatchee, yeah. I'm terrible at getting these names right. No disrespect to the people who name the places. But yeah, I'm gonna sit down, ask you a little bit about your comedy, which is how we met.
Yes.
Yeah.
Real quick before we get started, I just want to make sure you're feeling itchy at all. I just want to make sure you're not going ass first into an ant pile or something.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I guess I should have looked a little harder, but I looked hard enough. I looked hard enough. We'll find out in a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll hear me scream. That actually that happened to a friend of mine on a camping trip one time on the way. I told him before we left camp, because we had 5 miles back to the car, I told him before we left camp, I'm like, make sure you go poop. Make sure you go poop. Nah, it's fine, I don't have to go.
Oh boy.
Halfway down the trail, hey man, can you like guard me? I gotta poop. Sure. 30 seconds later, I stepped on an ant pile while he was trying to poop.
Well, at least it was his foot. I thought you were about to tell me he got hold.
You don't in the wild, you squat to poop. You don't just sit your ass on the ground and hope.
I am aware, but like, what if it was a tall ant pile and he wasn't looking?
A tall ant pile and he just like squatted his booty hole directly over it.
That's some bad luck.
No, you earned it at that point. if that's how you poop. I don't ever usually try to like say it's people's fault with stuff in the outdoors because everyone's out here learning. But if you stick your booty hole onto an ant pile,
yeah.
You deserve the bite.
It's probably not the first dumb thing you've done.
Yeah, but anyway, we met doing comedy. Do you remember when or where?
No, I don't. But it's probably Robot, if I had to say, or rather Funky Buddha.
Could have been Robot. My memory tells me it was upstairs Kelly Brothers. But I'm not entirely sure.
Oh God, that was a great room. I miss the upstairs of Kelly Brothers.
Because if I remember correctly, you said a joke that was, roasting a bit Army guys, and there happened to be an Army guy there.
That was not the first night we met.
That was not the first night we met? No.
No, that was not, but I remember that.
That's one of the early memories, though.
And it's funny you bring this up, because I remember this clear as day. I think about it all the time.
You know what I really remember about that, to interrupt you real quick? That you went to talk to him afterwards, like, hey man, I didn't mean nothing by it. And he also painted his nails black.
This was before I was painting mine.
Oh, okay. So then my brain is just combining two things.
And also, I remember it clear as day. So I went up. This is when I was younger, and of course, a lot of comedians, especially dudes, you work the edgy angle. Yeah. And I still think I'm pretty edgy, but I'd like to think I'm a little bit more smart about it.
Yeah.
But so I had this bit. It was I think it was pretty good, but it was edgy. Yeah. So the whole premise of the joke, because it wasn't roasting military people at all. It had one tag that barely mentioned military people. The joke was, do you think? It was basically the center is do you think the economy is the reason why there's so many mass because if you don't have like a backyard to bury the bodies in, like if you don't own property, then it's hard to be a regular serial. So I go through the whole thing, and then there was something about PTSD at the end, and I was like, you know, nothing brings people together like mutual trauma. And if you don't believe that, you've never seen veterans drinking at a bar together. Okay. Like, that's not a roast at all. That's just, it's acknowledging PTSD.
Yeah, I think the reason I called it roasting, it was because when you said it, everyone was like, oh, the murder me guy here.
Well, they were probably going, oh, because you're also leaving out. I don't know how well you knew him.
I didn't at all.
I didn't know him very well, but like I had been going to Kelly Brothers enough, and I know this because I had said hello to him a couple times, and I knew his name. Gotcha. I'm not going to say it on the podcast. No. A, because I don't want to put his business out there, and B, because I'm still terrified of him.
But he was kind of a scary looking dude.
He was bald head, muscular, tattoos. He was ex-military. Apparently, he was also a cop up north, and he came down here under sketchy circumstances. So this guy, he looks, and also they told me that because it's illegal to bring a firearm into a drinking establishment in the state of Florida. Okay. But apparently because he was friends with the owners, he would just bring the fucking piece in anyway. Makes sense. What you need to know is this dude could kill me with his bare hands, and he pack a gun. Yeah. So this is a scary guy. So he hears me tell that punchline about the veterans drinking in a bar. He's like, that's not funny.
Oh, he said that?
And I was like, I knew him well enough that I was be like, bro, like, are you gonna kick my ass about it? And he was like, not yet. And I literally started, like, I do not scare easy. I got a little Chihuahua syndrome in me where I'm like, I'm not afraid of people that I should be. But even I have my limits, and I am shaking, terrified of this guy. So afterwards, I walk out to the balcony, because this was an upstairs joint, a balcony that you could go smoke on. And I hear him walking behind me, and he goes, hey, funny man. And that's not something you want to hear as a comedian, especially really when there's someone who can kick your ass who just took offense to your joke. So I just sort of close my eyes and make peace with it. I remember in that moment, I was like, this is how I die. I'm about to get thrown off a balcony over a joke. I'm going to get martyred for humor before I even make it on Rogan. This sucks, but whatever.
This is going to have to move to another state.
But he was actually chill. He was like, hey, man, I don't get it, but like, I knew you were just trying to make me laugh. I'm like, I apologize for, lashing out. I want to shake your hand. Okay. So I shook his hand, and what I said out loud was just like, oh, hey, like, no problem. Like, I'm sorry if I opened an old wound. Like, I didn't mean to rub salt in it. I'm glad we could clear this up. In my head, I'm like, yeah, please don't kill me. But here's the part you maybe don't remember, is after I clear that up, you actually walk up to him a little nippy, and you were like, actually, it's called the Degenerate Comedy Show, because we believe in free speech absolutism here.
Did I say it like that, though?
Literally. And
really? Was I?
Yeah.
Excuse me,
yes, you were. I don't know if you'd been drinking or what, but like I remember looking at you like,
I had been drinking, but I
because any other person, I would back you up 100% on the free speech absolutism, but not after I just narrowly avoided getting thrown off of a balcony by a psycho-ass ex-military dude. You know what I mean? Pick your battles.
That's funny. I was probably just trying to give him a rundown. It's like, hey man, this is what we do around here. Like, I should talk like that more often. Excuse me, this is actually
Well, you weren't doing the voice, but you were being a little snippy, you know what I mean? You didn't deliberately affect a Berkeley student accent.
But I was probably just giving him the rundown, like, listen, man, this is what we do around here. If you don't like it, there's a downstairs area you can go to hang out. But I understand that, like, it just, you had just de-escalated something, and I was like, no, more gasoline.
Yeah.
So, that's great. When did you start doing comedy? Do you remember?
Like I said earlier, my memory isn't great even when I'm sober. So I've been doing it 7.5, 8 years now. My first time was Funky Buddha.
Okay. Was it Funky Buddha or was it Robot?
It was Funky Buddha.
It was Funky Buddha.
I was going to Funky Buddha for years before it became Robot.
Okay, gotcha.
And so I had nothing prepared. Well, what is like how a lot of comedians start. I was just always the funny guy in my group of friends, and like they were like, you should do comedy, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. So I started hanging out at open mics, got to know a couple of the comics, just talking to them outside the bar. And I remember the first thing I thought when I was hanging out, just because you remember, this is back when Matt Heath was around, and that's where I met Mike Cintron, because he was hosting, and all those other people, Vital, and all that stuff. I just remember hearing all these people just talk over each other a million miles a minute, and being like, damn, I'm Italian, and we talk over people, but these guys are on a completely other level. They always are just trying to get something out, but it's still coherent, it still makes it work. But yeah, my first time on stage, it's literally like, it's probably been like my 3rd or 4th time hanging out at the mic. And so I just get some liquid courage in me and get up there and just tell a story about how there was the word is transvestite, not a transgender individual.
I think transvestite is a cross-dresser, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
precisely.
Yeah.
I told a story about how a transvestite prostitute who was clearly off-duty, like makeup and like jewelry, but also just Nike t-shirt, basketball shorts, tried to get me to rent out his butthole for the evening.
Okay.
And I just told that story, and I got a bunch of laughs and caught the bug, never looked back.
So he was off-duty, but he still wanted to, I don't know, is that like a side job at that point? It's still a rim
He was
job,
saying, there's this place, and it's actually on the street at the end of Gateway where I live now. This is back when I was living in Lantana, but now I live on a Gateway. But there's a little place called the Shady Mart where people just go to hang out, buy drugs and stuff. I was buying beer underage there.
Okay.
And he just comes up, asks for a cigarette. And the funny thing is he kept calling me Peter. And I still don't know to this day, like if he was just calling me, because if you're a white dude in the hood, they give you like nicknames like Peter Parker, Steve Smith, Harry Potter. I've heard all that shit.
Peter Pecker.
Peter Pecker. But it's like, I don't know if he was giving me a nickname or if there's some dude in my neighborhood who looks exactly like me who has frequented him before, and now I'm being confused for him.
Maybe. So that was your first time on stage?
Yep.
That's good. You said you had nothing prepared, but you've come a long way. Now you bring note cards onto the stage.
Yes, precisely.
You know what? I've heard people give you shit about that, but I think it's part of like your, not a character, but part of like your performance.
What I always say is,
point, no?
And it's like, you know, it's like some people, Brian Coronado, like, you know.
Well, Brian gives everybody shit.
No, I was going to say, even as much of a shit talker as he is, even he's like, you know,
really?
Great. Like, no, you look, like, you know how, like, you watch a big, like, hour production of some dude, like, you know, even Kevin Hart, like, you know, you'll be looking at the stool. What do you think is on the stool? It's just fucking notes. But I don't know, what I always say is, it's like, yeah, I understand. And if you can memorize, good for you. But I already graduated school, man. I ain't fucking memorizing anymore. Fuck off.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it fits into the puzzle that is whatever the fuck you are. Because you know, I don't know if you still do it, but you go up on stage, the big you give introduction, give whatever, and you go, eh.
Yeah, sometimes I'd be doing that.
It's like you do that, you whoop out the cards, and you tell these outrageous stories. I'm like, it all fits in my opinion.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. And that's all the praise I'm going to give you, because you stole everything from me. No, I'm kidding. You didn't. But for those who don't know, around the time that you were like getting serious about comedy, I sort of quit, or was very much away for 2 years. So you became the Nico.
Yes.
To the point where like people have confused stories about us.
People have confused stories. Do you want to tell them about the #2 incident?
There's been many in the bathroom, you mean?
No, different. No, remember, because that's where I started fucking with you, calling you Nico #2.
Yeah, I mean, it was around the time that I started coming back from that comedy hiatus.
Because it all started at what was it? That was Spanx the Hog.
Yeah.
So we had just found out because
we would sit together at the bar a lot.
Yeah, and so since there was 2 Nicos, just somehow it came out that they didn't have our last names. And they were putting me down on the tabs. They were putting me down as Nico #1 and him as Nico #2, and that infuriated him because he's been doing comedy for
12 years.
12 years. So
yeah.
What is that? So yeah, almost.
Yeah, we really just like for fun field this arch nemesis thing.
Yes.
And honestly, I have a blast with it.
Majorly.
I have fun too. Your name's not even fucking Nicholas, you liar.
It's not Nicholas. It's Vincent Domenico Bolling IV.
Domenico, yeah. The Nico is like in the middle there. Mine's in the beginning, so fucking you're Nico too. Mr. Nico just took a #2. Okay. By the way, how did that go? Not that to make the podcast entirely about poop, but you had to go during a very difficult situation just now.
Oh yeah. Well, I had to.
Did you gargoyle it?
I did not gargoyle it. I used the ladies' room.
You used the ladies' room.
But I became a little awkward. I was in the at the big stall, and there was a little stall next to me. I was like, yeah, we're at a nature preserve. 2 women walked in, and they were both using. I just had to stay extremely silent.
There you go.
But then again, they were speaking French, so I'm sure they wouldn't have cared.
Why? In France they don't have a separate bathroom?
Yeah, they're a little bit more open-minded.
Yeah.
I don't think it's some lady from the Midwest who's going to scream and just assume I'm a pervert or something. It's just like, because I already had my line prepared. It's like, look,
I understand. The other bathroom.
Yes, there is a reason I'm in here. Trust me, I want to respect your privacy, but there is something absolutely unholy next door. And we're at a nature preserve. What are you going to do? Complain when nature happens?
There you go. That's good. That's good. Well, to close out the the whole poop. I'm sure it'll circle back eventually. Usually I bring my guests a little snacky, and I figured it was when you were in the bathroom. I figured it was perfect that I got you a melted kind peanut butter and dark chocolate bar.
I will gladly partake. Thank you.
Just to finish off the poop circle.
I don't know if I've ever had a kind.
No, it's okay. You don't have to eat it. I just like to bring my guests a little snacky.
I'll take it for later.
Something that's semi-practical. Sometimes I cook. Sometimes I just bring a little snack. Something to teach the audience. You know, once we get past all the poop,
yes,
that there are some valuable lessons here. Picking up a little kind bar is something good to have on trail. Gives you energy and stuff like that. And it's better to have something like that than nothing.
Always better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
I agree. That's my motto about cereal bars. That's the old Florida motto, right? Better to be judged by 6 cereal bars than to be carried by 12 of them. Something like that. It's silly what a cowboy state this is, but anyway, before we get too political, so how did you find out about comedy open mics? Like, did you just know about that from? That's
a good question. See, since before, I don't know. I'm trying to establish a timeline here, because God, it's been so long.
Like, you were the funny guy. People said you should do comedy. Did you already know that you could go and sign up to an open mic, or?
I think I was familiar with the concept of open mics just from living. I don't know exactly how I found out at Robot. I think at the time, like, mind you, this is just me trying to piece together my past. I think at the time I had already been consistently hanging out at Nippers back in the day.
Oh, okay. Nippers had comedy there.
They did have comedy. I know that my first time was at Funky Buddha, but I probably heard about Funky Buddha from hanging out at Nippers, and then I became a regular at Nippers and da-da-da.
That makes sense. Yeah, Nippers was an interesting show.
It was. It was
like a more northern Marina 84.
Yes,
Every now and then. I didn't quite see fistfights over there. I only heard about funky stories that we probably can't tell on here, but there were threats.
Yes.
There were threats made with various types of metal that are shaped like the state of Florida.
Yes. Yes, there were.
And yeah, it was more than one, which is, I guess, you know, only.
Hey, I was in it too, but like not with that incident in general. But one time I got into an argument with the GM there, who I was like friends with.
Yeah.
He threatened to hit me with a tire iron.
It's always L-shaped things.
Yeah.
That's a very Floridian.
It's the phallicness of it.
Yeah, I know, right? It makes it feel like if I'm holding a big one, I have a big one.
That's why I don't need a gun. That's why I don't own a gun. I don't need one.
The world knows. See, normally when comedians talk about having a big dick, you're like, this guy fucking sucks. But you have the right energy that I'm like, I believe him.
Well, I always make it clear. It's just like, look, this is self-love. I'm not trying to brag. It's just like, you know, my enormous penis is one of the few things I'm actually not insecure about, you know? Like, let me have this.
I think I do remember you saying that one time. It was like, this is the only thing I'm happy about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And then, so you tried your first open mic, and you've been doing, you said like 7 or 8 years?
Yeah. I think I'm definitely over 7.5, not quite 8. So I think I'm like 7 3/4. I don't fucking. It's like when you're a kid and someone asks you like, "How old are you?" It's like, "Oh, I'm 3.5."
Yeah,
like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. And then you are moving to New York. Probably by the time this comes out, you're already there. But you're moving for comedy, or?
Yes.
Cool.
For a myriad of reasons, I changed the scenery. Also, you know, I tell people all the time, I'm born in Florida, raised in Florida, never lived anywhere else, never known anything else, and I am not used to the heat. And that means there is no fucking getting used to it. Like, look at my complexion, Nick. Like, it's cruel to put someone as pale as me this close to the equator. I should be in fucking Siberia making moonshine in a bathtub and raising sled dogs. So I'm looking forward to living someplace where there's seasons. I know it gets hot in New York in the summer, but at least the other 3/4 of the year. And funny, you're asking me how outdoorsy I am earlier, because I'll tell you, my grandparents are from up north. My mother's parents are from Pennsylvania. So I remember going up there a couple times and like walking outside, and it's like, oh, I always thought like, oh, I'm like lazy, like I'm not outdoorsy and stuff. Like, no, I'm just in the wrong climate. Like, when it's not 98 degrees with 100% humidity, turns out I'm pretty fucking outdoorsy.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to do stuff out here. You really have to plan it, and it's part of the reason why I originally was going to call the show Camping with Comedians, but I realized how hard it was going to be to get people to fucking camp with me.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you can only do it like 2 months out of the year.
Yeah.
So we ended up with this. So yeah, no, it makes sense that in a better climate you do a little better. What part of Pennsylvania?
My mom is from Oil City, Pennsylvania, in Venango County.
That's near.
I don't fucking know.
I'm a hockey team.
I don't fucking know. That's a question for my mother, and even she doesn't give a shit about hockey.
That's funny.
It's butt-fuck nowhere, I'll tell you that much.
Nowhere?
It's the sticks. Mm.
Sometimes that's the best kind of Pennsylvania. I've done comedy in Pittsburgh before, and it's a lot of fun, but we were out there in an area, like we were staying in an area called Beaver Falls, and it's fucking beautiful over there. Just the fact that you can walk down to a creek for the Yinzers out there.
There you go.
For my fellow Yinzers, we walk down to the creek, and you can just like take on a hot day, you take your shoes off and dip your feet in the creek. Hell yeah. And then obviously on a cold day, for me, a cold day is just something I can really appreciate. I know people up north are like, ugh, fucking snow. Well, since I don't live there, I see it, and I'm like,
the grass is always greener on the other side, you know?
Yeah, it is. It is. Have you done comedy up there?
In New York a couple times, yeah.
I know you've traveled with Lucas and Rodney up north.
That was Ohio. Yeah, we were at the White Horse Saloon in, I know it was some suburb of Cincinnati.
Okay.
But it was a fun time, and I love to tell people this because Rodney was just sort of prepping us on the type of place we were walking into.
I got a little bit of that story. But I want to hear it with you here.
Basically, he was like, "This is all you need to know about the place. They have $2.50 domestic beers, and because of inflation, they recently had to raise the price to $2.75, and half of the regulars have been boycotting until they remove the extra 25 cents." So
that should give you an idea of what kind of place you have to go to.
It was lovely. I crushed there. I even made out with a chick at the bar afterwards, but I couldn't seal the deal because I was too drunk.
Classic Nico.
Yep.
Bowling. Classic Nico Bolling. Oh man. Oh, we were talking earlier about how people have confused stories with us, and there's one that I can't get into detail, but it involved an almost fist fight at a comedy club, and people thought it was you, but it was actually me.
No shit. Usually it's the other way around.
I know, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm far from a violent person, but something almost happened. Nothing big. We squashed it. We're past it. I can't really say any details here. People thought they were talking about you.
Well, I can't blame them.
Yeah. I know, and I thought about that because of the Wild Horse Saloon, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Lucas had to call me out of something there, or was it beforehand, or?
Allegedly. I don't know. I have no recollection of this. Apparently, all I'm going to say is, apparently, I have been told after the fact that my pocket knife exited my pocket. I don't know. If you want to know more, ask Sean or Lucas.
Okay. Well, I'm glad it only exited your pocket and didn't enter.
It did. It only exited no entry.
There you go. That's good. And so, all right. So you've done comedies. I got a serious face. Serious. So you've done comedy up north in Ohio, but also in New York City. Okay, that's cool.
So I've done the Grizzly Pear twice now. Okay. Which Sean, I'm sure they got like other people there, I think, but I've just been, it's Sean's show. Sean Mullins. Shout out Sean Mullins. And but then like the first time I was there, so I've spent a total of like 2 weeks there now. One was back in December, and then another week, about a month ago while I was looking for apartments. Okay. And the first time I hit the Grizzly Pear, had a fire under my ass. I was supposed to do another booked show up there, but it fell through because the producer got somebody pregnant. Yep, this is a little fun fact. But so I was doing a bunch of open mics. I got a bunch of people following me on Instagram. This is a fun story. I got to tell you this. My Instagram currently is at meth.incorporated.
Yeah, I was going to give you a shout out afterwards.
But I'm going to need to get a new Instagram handle because now, and I swear to Christ, this sounds like a joke. I am not joking. I never had any problem with people finding me in the state of Florida. Then I went to New York, and people started getting a notification when they try to follow me. This page may be associated with the sale of drugs.
Oh my God.
And it's not even like, hey, watch out. Like, they don't even show me. I'm like fucking shadow banned on Insta. I have to follow you if you want to see my account. So I got to make a new Instagram before I go up there.
Okay. That would be the worst drug dealer in the world.
I know, right? Yeah.
Instagram called Meth Incorporated, unless you sold like shrooms or something, so that
it's just to throw you off the set. Yeah. Oh, nothing here,
laboratories while you're digging your hands in cow shit. But that's kind of ridiculous. But something that left me a little bit stunned just now was that I couldn't move on when you said that the show got canceled because the producer got someone pregnant. What? How does the show get canceled because of that? I
am only repeating what I've been told, brother.
They didn't give you more details?
No.
Oh my God, I would fucking...
Remember, I was dealing with Sean, so it was like fucking, you know how he is. He was like, I've got somebody pregnant.
God, that guy is his Instagram still stuck smiling?
I believe so.
Because that's such a perfect thing for him. He really is just such a, his smile is like, reminds me of the Spy Wars, Spy versus Spy.
Yes.
Because his face turns, his smile is so big, his face turns into a beak.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Do you ever see, you know what it reminds me of? You ever seen Dastardly and Muttley?
I've heard the word dastardly before, but I think it's like...
Muttley was his sidekick that'd go like...
Oh, is it the guy with the curly mustache?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay,
Dick Dastardly.
Gotcha. That's from,
Well, I know he was in Wacky Races, but I think he also had his own cartoon.
Is that, Rocky and Bullwinkle, or no?
It's in the same vein, but no.
Okay, gotcha.
No, you're right. Dick Dastardly... Was Dick Dastardly the bad? Yeah. No,
I don't know.
Snidely Whiplash was the bad guy from Rocky and Bullwinkle. No. So part of Rocky and Bullwinkle was Dudley Do-Right. Dudley Do-Right's nemesis was Snidely Whiplash, but like they're all
it's a skinny
same thing
guy.
with the like, you know, tying the damsels to the train tracks and stuff like that.
Gotcha. No, I'm thinking of something completely different. The only time I've heard the word dastardly is there's a crew in Pensacola called Plug Ugly. Shout out to them. And they're like I guess like a punk and hardcore crew, and they just kind of keep the scene free. And every now and then they do. Gotta bleep that one out. Whatever. They do like security for comedy shows, and we met my friend Bubs Harris. I think at the time was a member. And like the comedy shows over there were fantastic. We did them at like rock clubs and shit like that. But that's beyond that. That's completely off topic. Sorry to make this about me. I'm, you know.
You're not making it. We're just talking.
There can only be one Nico, and now I brought you on the show, which is my mistake, really.
Give it 4 weeks. The state's all yours, baby. But I'll tell you, I know something else that's dastardly, and that's whatever that fella left behind in the fucking men's room today. That's real dastardly.
I knew the poop would come back. I knew the poop would come back.
Just dastardly is a perfect word for it.
I know. Dastardly.
Dastardly. Yeah.
Listen, sometimes I start the show with a horrible pun. Sometimes I end it with a horrible pun. And that's going to be the show-ending pun because we're running a little bit low on time here. But you can check out Nico for now on Meth Incorporated.
Dude, literally, you can't search me. I'm shadow banned. So you can find me on Facebook at Nicholas Bollingstein.
That's neither one of those are his names. I hate him.
I know. It was originally an alt account, but then I forgot my regular login info.
Don't worry. Listen, by the time this episode comes out, you'll probably have a new or a different account.
Majorly.
And I'll tag that.
Just tag it.
Yeah, I'll put that down at the bottom in the description.
Bag him and tag him, baby.
Yep, you can follow him there. Check out his shows, which I guess will be in New York now.
Yes, sir.
Don't come to see this guy in Florida unless he's visiting now. So thank you for joining me on this hike. I hope it wasn't too shitty. God, I hate myself for that.
Not at all. I had a lovely time.
It was awesome
very civilized.
seeing you, dude. Thank you for coming with me. All right, we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope you had as much fun as I did. If you want to help the channel grow, you can subscribe or like, or hit the notification bell, or leave a comment down below. I'll try my best to answer, so long as you're swinging above the belt. If you really want to help, you want to help me feed my guests and pay my bills, I will put links to my Venmo and Cashapp and Patreon down below. If you like my guests, I will also put tags to their social media in the description. Always remember that here at OTC, we encourage our viewers to respectfully and responsibly enjoy the outdoors, know your local ordinances, abide by leave no trace principles, learn something cool, and I'll see you on the next hike.